Okay, I'll get it. Just push it. No, it's live. You see it? God, you want to zoom, you know.
Is that where the best lighting's gonna be at? Because we want to get.
No, you're. What? Is this good? That's the way it's gonna turn out. Yeah, like as far as what we can see on right there. That's really no.
We're not gonna be able to.
Yeah, we'll be
in the background. Yeah, then come on this side then. Yeah, get this in the background. It's going live.
Yeah, it's live now.
Oh, okay. All right, we want to give all praises, Aki. We want to give all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Call halal Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the Akim out there, Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Shalom Barakim to you, to the elected Israel, and double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. We the Akim here down in D.C. As you can see, we got the Capitol building in the back. And they've been doing construction on this thing, I want to say, for about 4 years now. You know, it's been going on 4 years. You know, try to build this place back up to where it was, you know. And we just decided to come out, maybe just do some live and bring out some scriptures on America's downfall, you know, because this place is crumbling all over. You know, just coming into this place, we were supposed to start at 1. I got on the metro at roughly 12:30, and it took forever to get down here because they're fixing the damn tracks. Every year, the red line or all these other lines are breaking down, you know, and it's causing havoc. They talked about shutting down the whole rail system for a whole month at one time, you know, but they couldn't do that because I understand that will cause the collapse to come way quicker because people got to get to jobs or do whatever, you know. But I just want to start off by saying that. Any other brothers got precepts already or want to? Yeah, let's bring them out, bro. Rapid fire.
It's the Psalms 49:11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. You know, pretty much, man, the scripture's saying what? Their inward thoughts, like the brother, as you can see in the back, they've been building. The inward thoughts is that this thing is going to continue forever and ever. And that's not going to happen, man. Because America's going down, the infrastructure of America was given a D-. This is supposed to be the #1 country on the earth, and your infrastructure gets a D-. Why? Because America's done financially, morally, economically, everything.
Yeah, and everywhere, especially here in D.C., all the street names are named after states, and not all of these states are Gadite names. Some of these states are Edomite names. All right, like Maryland. All right, or you got Elizabeth. You got down in the Carolinas, you got something called Elizabeth City. You know, so things of that nature. I got a precept here. This is Jeremiah 51 and Jeremiah 51. I'm gonna start at 6. You know, feel free to interrupt me. I can, you know, break this down too. Jeremiah 51:6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Yeah. Right. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, the Lord is going to render unto America a recompense, meaning a payback. For what it say, Brother Greg, you read iniquity? For her wickedness, man. So it's only a matter of time before America gets destroyed, like the brothers are talking about, going down for all the stuff that they've committed against, more importantly, against the children of Israel and their wickedness around the rest of the world.
God, and this is prophecy. This is in Jeremiah. He said this back then, but this is prophecy going on now. Because the Lord was taking vengeance back then, but also he's taking vengeance right now. And as you can see, this is part of the vengeance, you know, crumbling this place physically. You know, not only spiritually, and throughout the society, you know, mentally, but physically this place is falling apart. Verse 7, it says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken.
Yeah, if I may say this, that's in the time of Jeremiah, you know, because he's reading Jeremiah. Jeremiah came on the scene back in the time of the Babylonians. That's around the time of the 600s to the 500s BC. Now, he said Babylon had made the nations drunken. All the nations, the ancient Babylon hasn't made all the nations drunken now. So that Babylon that is talking about, like brother was saying, future prophecy, that Babylon is talking about America. Right? America has made all the nations drunken with her ways of doing things, man.
It says, the nations have drunken her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
Yeah, the nations have drunken of her wine, her philosophies, therefore the nations are mad, man. taking on of America's customs. Then now all of a sudden you're mad. What are some of the customs in America? You know, promoting women being over men. If I'm not mistaken, where was it? Was it in Iraq? A couple years ago, they were trying to push for women to wear jeans. Remember
Saudi Arabia.
Right. They was pushing for women to wear pants and stuff like that.
In Iran, they were pushing for women to get driver's license. I think they're able to get their driver's license now to operate a vehicle. And this was back in like 2014. I think they were watching a documentary. Because RT does those documentaries, and they were talking to Iranian women who were so happy because now they can go out and have driver's license and stuff. But the scripture says not to let a wicked woman gather abroad.
That's right.
You know, so women ain't supposed to be out here doing whatever they want all the time, you know. They're supposed to be at home, being modest and learning up under her man.
That's right.
And another thing I wanted to say, the reason why they're drunk, and if you turn around, pan the camera, that's the homosexuality vibe, man. And every place around here, in every place around here, let's move closer. You know, that's what they have. You know, they got this obelisk. You got it up? Yeah. You got it? Yeah, so that's another way that they're drunken, off this homosexuality vibe. All right?
I got a preset, brother.
Let's stay a little close, bro, just
in
case I can
Closer.
Too close for the sound.
The only reason why is because he can't capture everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was.
Still good?
The sound is good.
Coming tight.
That's why I was. Now you.
Just speak up, Akim. Speak up. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, going on what the brother just said, one of the things behind is that monument. This is Revelation chapter 16, verse 13. It says, "And I saw 3 unclean spirits, like frogs, come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet." Now, when it's talking about the 3 unclean spirits, what is it talking about? It's talking about the 3 city-states, right? You know what I'm saying? One of the city-states, the spiritual city-state, is the Vatican over there in Rome. Now, the financial city-state is London over there in England. And guess what? The 3rd city-state is Washington, D.C., man, where we standing right here. You know what I'm saying? This is the 3rd. This is one of those 3 unclean spirits that John saw out of the mouth of the dragon. What's the dragon? The dragon is the beast, the EU, NATO, and the horde that sits on top of the dragon. You know what I'm saying? So we standing on one of the 3 unclean spirits in the book of Revelation. Yep. I got some more. Verse 14, it says, "For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth." And those miracles is like the brother said, those doctrines, you know, those philosophies, the art, you know, how to go to wars, destabilizing governments and institutions. Yeah. I'm gonna get one good example of what's going on right now with the coup, with the failed attempt coup over there in Turkey. That's part of the nation being mad. Why? Because democracy is supposed to work, right? If democracy is the #1 way to have a functioning government, why do you have coup? Why do you have attempts to seize? Because I seen the video from Apostle Tahar, which a coup is a violent attempt to seize the government. Well, Turkey is listed as a democratic state, democratic government, but it's not working. You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Jeremiah. Jeremiah 51 and 8. It says, "Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take blame for her pain? If so, she may be healed."
Take balm.
Slaka, yeah, take balm. Let me read it again. "Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? If so, she may be healed."
Right, and you can see right here, they trying to heal Babylon, but it's not working. You know, like the brother said, you know, they've been trying to reconstruct. Well, this is the Capitol building, man. You know, this is where when you think of D.C., you think of the White House, think of the obelisk, the so-called Washington Monument. Think of the Capitol building, man. Matter of fact, they always doing reconstruction on the. You don't got to get it, bro.
No.
They're always doing reconstruction on the obelisk as well.
Right.
You know, this place is finito, man.
Yeah, because remember, the Lord sent an earthquake to D.C. What was it back? 2011, 2010.
Yeah, that was 11.
2010, 2011, and it shook the foundation of this whole place. The epic. I don't even think the epicenter was in D.C. It might have been slightly outside of
Virginia.
It was in Virginia, and it shook DC, man. So a huge cathedral cracked over there, you know, over there by Brooklyn Station, you know, and then the Obelisk Foundation shook. Everything shook out here. But the next earthquake is going to be so great, they're not going to be able to put bomb, because bomb is what you do to somebody who is passed. You know, you try to put in bomb to make it look nice, for, you know, for the viewing or what have you. America's not nice, man. No matter how much bomb you put on this place, it's not pretty like it was, you know. I'm talking about going back to when the Gadites were here. It's never going to go back to flourishing how it was, because the land was beautiful at one point in time. You know how the song goes, from sea to shining sea.
Right.
You know, this land is my land, this land is your land. That's when the land was flourishing. But then they had the whole gold rush. You know, they went out there and plundered all the gold. Esau just did what he always does, you know.
That's right.
And when you lay your foundations like that, this is what happens. This is what you get, man.
If I'm not mistaken, you said the gold rush. That goes back to that's what you have in that football team called the 49ers.
Oh,
yeah, that goes back to
1849.
1849. That's when they had the gold rush. You know, so hey, it's history, man. It's letting you know the Bible. Why the Bible is irrelevant. That's what the Bible is actually about. The Bible is relevant. Why? Because of prophecy. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why the Bible is relevant. All these other books are dead.
Yeah.
This book is the only book that's alive, because the book is telling you about things that hasn't happened yet. And then you see it happen. That makes this book relevant.
Right. Anything else is witchcraft. You know, anything else outside of these scriptures is witchcraft, because they try to use things that are dead to make it alive. Which the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is the God of the living. So we're gonna tell you things that are living. We're gonna tell you things that's happening right now. You know, that's the spirit that we in. You know, that's why the scripture says what? That the elect are what? Lively stones, man. You know. We bring you something live and direct as we speak. You know?
That's right.
Hey,
That's
call
right.
Allah, y'all by Shimmy Al-Shah.
That's right. That's right.
You know, 'cause he allowed this to happen, you know?
Yep.
Go ahead, brother.
And, this is Revelations 11:8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt."
Right. When you go back to those places again, hey, that's what America represents, man. This is all witchcraft in all actuality. You know, these people are amazed, man. They're astonished. When you go, turn it around, brother.
Yeah, it's divination, because this is a divination. That's what, when you look up the word witchcraft, that Hebrew word, see, we give you a Hebrew word spotlights, because we are Hebrew Israelites. You can bring it back up. The Hebrew word for witchcraft is qasam, and it means to use divination. Basically, to try to use portals to talk to spirits.
That's right.
You know?
Necromancy.
Yeah, necromancy.
Yep.
Which means, you know, basically dealing with the dead.
Necro means those.
Yeah, that's right, man. But the thing is, and also too, I did a video on it, you know, on the word witchcraft. When you look up the word witchcraft, it goes into the word fascination.
That's right.
You know, when people are fascinated, they're astonished. It's because it's a mind altering, man. You know.
As a matter of fact, if a brother can turn, look at all these people that are right next to the obelisk. Those people, whether they know it or not, because remember, this is all spiritual. That's a straight, the monument. You see all those people gathered together in that garden by the monument, whether they know it or not, what they're doing is really a form of worship of that monument. How do you know? Because if that monument wasn't standing over there, you wouldn't have all that group of people over there. So right there, they're showing what? They're showing fascination to Satan, man. The spiritual demon Satan. They're worshiping the phallic symbol by standing over there on a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? In their mind, they think they're just having fun. But Satan will take every type of worship, whether it be knowingly or unknowingly. Satan's gonna take that worship.
Yeah, they're fascinated by Esau's trickery. You know, his miracles, man. That's what the scriptures talk about. It talks about Esau's miracles, man. And that's what these people are looking at, man. We look at this place like it's scum, like it's filth, like it needs to be destroyed. They're looking at it like, oh my God, I can't believe, how did they do this? I can't wait till they reconstruct the Capitol building. You know, it's a completely different spirit that we in.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Yeah, right. And this is the spirit of the Lord's mouth right here. You know, we're destroying this place, man, little by little, man. As every brick they try to lay back up, spiritually, we're taking a brick down. And in fact, the scriptures talk about how we're building up our temple, if you will. Starting with the cornerstone of Yahweh Shai, man. As we're building it, this place is being torn down.
That's right.
You know?
Hey, man, this is a beautiful scripture because you said two things. You said the scum, and then you said little by little.
You got Ezekiel 30,
Yeah, 24. That's
24.
right.
Yep,
It's
yep.
Ezekiel 24 and 6. It says, "Wherefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, woe to the bloody city, to the part whose scum is therein, and whose scum is not going out of it. Bring it out piece by piece."
See? Piece by piece, man. You know? Little by little, man.
Yeah, this thing's getting scraped. You know how you scrape the bottom of the pot? It's getting scraped right now, man. By the spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua.
Yep.
You know, you looking at the scum. You looking at the scum right now, man. Just you looking at the golden cup of Babylon, man.
That's right.
I'm gonna come back here. Was that it?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, let me come back to 2 Thessalonians. This is 2 and 8. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. You know, and this is a real strong delusion, man. People actually think that this place is gonna last forever, man. And he puts, I mean, just the simple fact that that's up there being built puts hope in people's hearts, man. Who actually, you know, these patriots of the U.S. This don't put hope in our heart. We rejoice when we see stuff like this because we know that this place is crumbling, man. And it solidifies our faith in these prophecies.
Earlier you mentioned in Jeremiah 51 the whole bomb.
Con.
Like I know brothers know about Tiger Bomb.
Speak up a little bit, Alex.
You know about Tiger Bomb.
Yeah,
You know the bomb you put on for pain. That's basically to patch things. That's another thing for bomb.
Yep.
They trying to fix the problems basically.
Yeah.
Salaki, the word I was thinking of is embalm.
Right.
Embalm.
Right.
Because you actually have a plant called lemon balm.
Right.
There's different types of you're right about that. You're right about that. You can create types of balms, and then when you use it, that's called embalming. It's called embalming somebody.
Basically like a ointment.
Yeah.
Ointment. You know, like for example, what is that well-known balm that people use for pain?
Vicks?
No, not Vicks, for like cuts and sores. What was it?
Neosporin?
Neosporin. There you go. The water. It was Neosporin. It ain't gonna be no Neosporin on America.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it ain't gonna be no. It's finished. This is Isaiah 14 and verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. They stir up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations, man. Destruction is stirring up for America, man. Verse 10. All they speak, Shalaka, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? See, you're in a weak state, man. You're not healed.
Yeah.
You're becoming weak. That's what these other nations say, art thou become as weak as we?
That's right. That's why the scripture says, let the weak say that I'm strong. You know? Because they're not really as strong, but America is so weak that they seem to be strong too.
Right.
You know?
You even have Esau on these different TV shows when they go into politics, when they always talk about President Obama and stuff like that. They're like, he always makes us appear weak.
Yeah. Yep.
How come?
Say that all the time.
He always makes us appear weak in front of these other nations. Why don't we do this and be stronger and show them?
That's why everybody likes Trump so much, because Trump is the big bad guy. He's supposed to be the bomb. He's supposed to be the bomb for America. Right. The bomb, you know? You know? He's supposed to be that hill for America.
Instead, he might be the bomb.
Yeah.
Cut.
You know? It says, art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave.
See, that pomp is that pride, man. That haughtiness. Because everybody, let freedom ring, like the brother was talking about earlier. You know, this July 4th wasn't so patriotic, man. Every year, all these so-called holidays, which are holidays to these witches and warlocks, all of them are diminishing more and more.
And you know, not only are they diminishing, it seems like St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's Day and all these days, every time they come around, it seems like either the weather's really bad, and what they have to do is they basically have to spend it a whole week. So what they do is they try to celebrate it the whole week, but it doesn't have the same the spirit is not the same in it, you know? Because they celebrated St. Patrick's Day for a damn near a whole week. Then they had the so-called Independence Day. They had the fireworks on the 8th. You know, people were still shooting fireworks the following week, you know?
Oh, and in one of the local news stations, they had a recording of them shooting fireworks, but lo and behold, they took fireworks back in 2011, and they replayed it. Why? Because that day, I guess it was raining and stuff like that. They couldn't have the same July 4th that they used to. So they took old recordings of fireworks from back in the day, and they played it live for people, because they still try to get that spirit.
Yeah.
We would have healed Babylon, but it's not healed.
Let me bring that out. It's the next verse here. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
You know what would means? I would like to. It's not saying it's going to happen when you use the word would. I would like to do this. It's not a definite. I would. We would have healed Babylon, but you know, she's not going to be healed.
It says, forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up to the skies.
Yeah, these other nations ain't looking at America so great right now.
That's right.
Don't be confused about you know, because we saw tourists on the buses and stuff like that. Yeah, you still want to have that, but for the most part, these people that come here and dwell here, they know it's time to go back home.
Hell yeah. They come in here because it's business here, man. When you ask these foreigners, yo, actually if you like America or something, you know, ask them foreigners, are you like, nah, I don't. All they say is because it's easier to get work here. That's all they say. They want to get their money and go right back home. But then you got the people that get fascinated, they'll get bewitched or enchanted by the lifestyle of America because it's so free.
Yeah.
Then those be the people that'll stay.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
They became Hellenized.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
In a sense, because other nations too became Hellenized during the time of the Greeks.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You know, they like the ways of America.
Can I say this too as well? And one thing as well, you know, we can't forget that when it also talks about, you know, bombs to heal America, you also got to really go into the economy. You know, because like the brother said, tourism and, you know, witchcraft and all these things, witchcraft is powerful, but a lot of times, you know, for witchcraft to get to this level, it has to be attached with a lot of wealth.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is that America's witchcraft is worked in different nations because of the wealth. The fascination was started with the wealth, and then when the people was like came to the elites of this nation and said, well, how'd you get this? How did George Washington, how was he so great? You know what I'm saying? How Jefferson, how was he so great? The forefathers of this nation, well, all of them were Masons. All of them were Masons, so therefore the nations have to get into the spiritual aspect.
Yeah.
But you can't forget about the financial aspect. You talk about quantitative easing that we've had to deal with all these years trying to heal America. You know, you talking about all these bailouts that's been going on, trying to help America. And you got, and that's another thing, America's was bailed out several times with the quantitative easing. But at the same time, the nations like Japan, you know what I'm saying, were also using the same thing. Japan is going on its 4th and 5th quantitative easing. Where did they learn that from? They learned that from America.
Right.
So all these other nations are going the same way that America is going. So the nations, that's where the nations are mad.
Yep. And that's also too a part of their philosophy that they're drinking the wine of Babylon. Man. You know.
Isaiah 14:11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee.
Yeah, the noise of thy vows. You're talking about the joyous time, the mirth. But the worm is spread under thee. You're talking about the corrosion, man.
Right.
You know, worms represent corrosion of a lower state, even unto death, man.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
They dig tunnels and they as far as they corrode, you know, like you said, corrosion. It says, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
Right. Or how art thou fallen from heaven? Meaning, look, if you look at America, you know, once upon a time it was a great place. You know, it was a place where people, like for instance, what was that? The early 1900s. You had Ellis Island. You know, you had Ellis Island, and you had a lot of imported people coming over from Ireland, England, you know, Germany. You know, all those places. Why? Because they looked at America as this great place to live.
That's right.
You know? But now, people are not really looking to live in America. Matter of fact, if you really look at it, people come to America to learn business, like we said before, and go back and live in their country. You know what proves that, though, is when you call up Verizon or you call up any of these other companies, who you getting?
Yeah, Elamites.
Yeah.
You call this what's that, Dell?
Dell?
Yeah. When you call, your phone calls immediately go straight to over there in India.
Yeah, because they had people come over here, learn the system, learn the processing, and then bring it back over to their country, teach their people how to do it. And in fact, I met a girl, even she was from Brazil. She only came to America to I forget whatever she was learning. She went to Delaware State. She was learning whatever she was learning. She said, "I'm going back." She didn't like the ways of America. She was from Brazil.
As a matter of fact, you say that I have I think it was a friend of the family. You know what I'm saying? She's born and raised in West Africa. You know what I'm saying? When she came in here, I think she stayed for like a good 5, 6, 7 years. And then what she decided to do is have a business where she would go back to West Africa. Now she would come here to America, buy cars, and go back and flip it over there in West Africa. Because you have certain, you know, what people don't know is that you do have nations in Africa with people that got a lot of money. Because there's a lot of corruption in Africa. So you have that 5% of people in all these nations that are filthy rich. Yeah. And then right underneath, you got a good 10% of people that are well-to-do, you know, Israelites that live in the land of Ham. Yeah. So those people, they don't necessarily want to come here, but they want to drop the same cars that people drive here. You know what I'm saying? So what she does, she comes here to America, she'll be chilling in her house for 3 months. She buying all these cars, she be chilling with us in the house. And then she go back to West Africa and flip the cars.
Yeah, probably sell it for double.
No, that's scripture.
Zephaniah 1 and 13. It says, "Therefore their goods shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation."
Yeah, that's robbery, man. America's going to be, how would you say, absorbed, if you will, man. You know, it's going to, America's, it doesn't have the same wealth that it used to have, man. You know, because everything is being taken out of it, you know.
It says, "They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof." And that's what's going on right now, man. They building this stuff up, and you know, with this building, this is where a lot of the legislations are passed. I believe the House of Representatives and the Senate sits, you know, and they put forth. They're trying to put forth all these laws and stuff, but ultimately, it's not gonna work, man. Like the scripture says, "They shall build, but I shall throw down." It doesn't matter if you try to build physically or spiritually. The Lord is collapsing this place, man, on both sides of the spectrum. I'm going to read that verse again. It says, "Therefore their goods shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof." Right, because they got certain actions and legislations in place, like the executive orders that they want to actually use, man. Like the controlling of transportation, controlling of the electrical grid, controlling of the food supply, controlling of the rations for medicine and things like that, or what have you. All right, the control of your cellular device, you know, and bringing on the mark of the beast, you know. So when these things start to come to pass, that's how you know the Lord's about to destroy this place, about to bring it down, man, by way of the cornerstone, Yahweh Shah.
Wasn't this something that they passed not too long ago, where they said they're going to make it harder for people that live outside of the city? There was something, people that live outside of the city are going to, you know, get more taxes and stuff put on them, so that in a way they would have to be forced to live back in the city.
That's true. Because I remember. Because I've worked in you talking about DC. Now, basically, DC wants to keep the money in house. That's because they want to build up the inner city again. You know, but everything is, all the people that work in the city live outside the city. So the people so the corporations that live in the city, the people that work for them, the money that they generate, the revenue that they generate is being spent on places outside of the city. Like you may live in Maryland, you know, you may live in whatever, PG County, and then you work in DC. You know, you work, say for instance, you work for the government, the federal government, where you taking the federal government's money that you're getting paid with and spending it on the local convenience store. Oh, you know what's something real good while we here? It's that scene in Nah, Boys in the Hood. That scene where Lawrence Fishburne takes his son. You know what I'm talking about?
Gentrification.
Yeah. It's funny because I seen that scene again more recently, and I didn't understand, never understood what he was talking about. But basically, he was breaking down the gentrification.
Right.
And he was basically saying we need to keep Lawrence Fishburne. That's when, remember, he goes in the hood, and he was like, remember in the old Jake, he was like, look, it ain't us bringing down the property value, it's y'all. He said, yeah, but what if there ain't no cracks here? There ain't no crack here. He said, we ain't got no airplanes bringing that shit up in here. He said, we need to keep shit in-house how like the Jews do, like the Italians do. But see, that's the thing. That's another thing that keeps America afloat. Having Jake low, having Jake just consuming, as opposed to consuming and bringing that money back into the neighborhood. And that's what Esau's doing, wants to do. Because Esau's more so of a consumer right now. You know, he's not necessarily, I'm talking about America, so like specifically, in particular, America is doing more importing than it is exporting. You know, because when you export, you bring your money inside. When you're importing, then you're spending your money outside. You know, so America's, that's the inflation, that's the hyperinflation. The money is just being rotated pretty much, but it's not. There's no real money coming in,
which causes all the prices in house to be risen up.
Right.
When you brothers that have been on islands, that live on islands and stuff like that, or lived on any island, you would know that. Like when you know, because them constantly getting imports and not exporting stuff, everything on the island is sky high, man.
Yeah, that's why.
Gas is high.
Right.
Gas is high. Groceries are high. Little essentials like that are high because all they're doing is importing instead of exporting.
That's right. That's supply and demand.
That's right.
That's exactly what that is. That's why when you go to places like New York, you know, which is basically an import city, that's what makes that city to be what it is. Yeah. All the boats is coming in, they get it there first, and they make a high demand for it.
That's right.
You know, especially, no, let me say this. It's a high demand, especially outside of the city. You know, because the people that are in the city, they kind of getting it firsthand. You know, so but it makes everything harder on the outside.
It's Job chapter 27, verse 16. Though he heap up silver as the dust and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver.
Right, and that's what a matter of fact. And I'm a witness to, you know, as the scriptures talk about where two witnesses thing it must go through pretty much. You know, that's in the law. It's in Deuteronomy 17th chapter, right? So basically, when you have two witnesses, hey man, it's pretty much official in Israel. So basically, I was listening. I remember we used to work on the base Fort Meade. I don't know if he was in that house with us, but basically, remember there was people that came back from Iraq, and when they yoked up what's his name, Saddam Hussein. You know, you had soldiers that were actually there during the time when they, you know, grabbed Saddam Hussein up. You know, they basically put him in subjection. And they basically robbed all his gold. Yeah. Now the people now even in our law, most cases when a soldier goes to war, he gets the spoils. See, America is going over there fighting and snatching up and hoarding up the resources of all these other countries, and they're keeping it for them. They're not touching them gold. Yeah, exactly. Remember that movie Three Kings? Remember they took that gold and they went on the run.
Yep.
Now, that's what this scripture's talking about. See, the elites is hoarding up this gold, but guess what? We getting that. They hoarding all that gold so it'd be easier for us to get. You know, mainly the elect starting with the Yahushua. You know, when Yahushua comes back, and then, you know, the elect up under Yahushua going to be the joint heirs and reap all that. Whereas you see in the scriptures, Isaiah the 60th chapter, I believe, it says what? That the gate shall be open continually. Because the forces of the Gentiles. The forces of the Gentiles is all of what they're reaping up right now. See, America, not America, all these other countries are talking big and bad because they have high commodities with them. They have oil, they have different resources, they have different herbs, you know, different spices. Just like Lebanon was a popping place back in the day. Why? Because they had good wood. You needed good wood to do what? Our altar was built on wood, off the shittim wood, and then the temple was built with certain type of wood, certain type of luxuries. So all that's going to have to come back again.
Yeah, cedars.
See, yep, cedar wood, yep.
This is a Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yep, that's right. The kingdom is translated from one people unto another, man. It's good. What was that? Proverbs?
No, Sirach.
But hey, it's Sirach, Proverbs, same concept.
Yep.
But and you know, in Proverbs always talk about riches gotten by deceit.
That's right.
Yeah, the scriptures always talk up against the riches gotten by deceit, man. So that's how America, that's how this whole world, this whole philosophy of the world, this globe, this earth, if you will, that we live in. Everything is gotten by deceit, so it all got to come up.
Real quick, I want to go back to that. Some more Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivered from death.
Yeah, but righteousness delivered from death, man. So yeah, even if you break your neck 9 to 5, whatever you want to work 45, 50, 60 hours out the week, that ain't going to help you get up out of America. That ain't going to save you in the last days. Because again, what the scriptures talk about, the dollar's going to collapse.
I'm be real out, man. I mean, the reality is, man, if you having to work 45, 50, 60 hours, then first of all, you're not rich and you never will be rich.
Right.
Because when you understand, one thing that you understand about the world since the very beginning, the people that do the less work are usually the people with a lot of money.
That's right. Yep.
Even when you come down to individual jobs, the less, all the jobs that I've had, the less I've had to do, the more I've gotten paid for. As crazy as it is, that's how it is.
Yeah. It's Psalms 49 and verse 6. It says, they that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches. None of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to Yahweh a ransom for him.
Right, you know, and that's the spirit, man, because, hey, there's a saying in the world that knowledge is power. You know, the scriptures talk about how knowledge, wisdom, understanding is like, is not even compared to rubies, man. Not even compared to gold.
That's right.
You know, that's why those people that are of high estate right now, because they know something or they know somebody.
That's right.
You know, but we got the best thing on the market, if you will.
That's right.
You know, that's why we going to get all the riches later, because we got a commodity that's sold at a low price right now.
Right.
When
it doesn't diminish.
Right.
What we have never diminishes. You know, bringing it back home. Our riches ain't going. When we invest our riches, it's not going to end up looking like this years down the road. All right. Matthew 6 and lay up your treasures in heaven. Get that.
Can I make a point too?
Go ahead,
that's why the scriptures. That's why the time's going to come to a point where the scripture says what? There should be a famine, but not of bread. But of the word of the Most High. Why? Because when that's what investors do, man. See, people these get me angry because people out here, they so stupid and they don't understand money. They don't understand how money works. Them people that got money, they held on to a commodity one way or another and waited till people needed it and then held it back and brought the prices up. What? And it's
it says that's kind of how
that's
you
the
do it.
Yes.
Well, Esau does it, you know.
Yeah,
Esau does it with trickery.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, we're putting it on the table now so you can come get it.
Right.
You know, so we're making it available. But the people that's what makes it righteous, because the scripture says, "Buy the truth and sell it not." You know, and we said, "Well, all thy getting, get understanding." So you're able to come get these riches. You know, Esau hoard his riches and be like, "You can't get this," and then wait for you need it, then try to give it to you. We're trying to give it to you right now. Then when you need it, the price is going to be so high. For some, it's going to be too late.
Got a couple scriptures out. It's Sirach 29 or Ecclesiasticus 29:11. Lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold. Shut up alms in thy storehouse, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction. It shall fight for thee against thine enemies, better than a mighty shield and a strong spear.
That's right, because we deal with the name of the Heavenly Father and His Son is priceless value, man. You know?
If I make you read that again,
Yeah. Verse 11, lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring...
according to the commandments of the Most High, which is the whole book. Another scripture in Baruch says this is the book of the law. I believe it's book of Baruch, the 4th chapter.
It says, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold, Shut up alms in thy storehouse, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction. And it shall fight for thee against thine enemies, better than a mighty shield and strong spear.
Better than a mighty shield and strong spear. Better than picking up that weapon yourself. Better than going for that purge yourself. See, wisdom is going to get us saved with the faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's what's going to get us saved. That's more precious than grabbing that sword and picking it up and saying, I'm going to go to war, and you don't know who you are. That scripture clearly stated that. You know?
This is Psalms, my bad, brother. This is Psalms 91. It's start at verse 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noise and pestilence. He shall cover thee with feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, nor the arrow that flieth by day. Hey, because the truth is right now is going at a low price. The truth is going at a low price right now. You know, but in that day, the truth is going to go to such a high value, man. You know, but it's better to buy low, sell high.
That's right.
You know, that's the philosophy of Wall Street. Buy low, sell high.
He said, when that, this, like you said, the stock, the truth, the stock of this truth is going to rise, man. This is Psalms 110 and 3. It says, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, and the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. Thou hast the dew of thy youth. You see, the main point is that people shall be willing in the day of thy power. So, again, the elect, especially the remaining of the 1/3, you know what I'm saying, they're going to be willing in the day of the power. All of a sudden, like the brother said, this truth that was, you know, once upon a time put to naught and, you know, constantly dismissed, you know what I'm saying, you walked past us, you heard about us, but you always felt like, well, this is just another movement, another, you know, militant movement. All of a sudden, you're going to be like, whoa, man, this is real. This is it. This is the way, man. All of a sudden, you're going to reject everything else that you learned in this world. Everything that we told you to do. Reject all these doctrines and everything. All of a sudden, you're going to do it. Why? Because you're going to see that everything else around you is falling. But this truth keeps on rising brighter and brighter, man.
It's Matthew 6 and 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal.
Right, yeah, that's right, man. Because, hey, this is a corrupt society, man. Everything is jacked up here, man. So everything that has so-called value here really has no value, man. You know, hey, man, the daggone money, man. You know, the dollar. You know, it's supposed to be backed by gold, but what value does it really have? That's why you got people across, well, the other nations across the globe, they're looking at the dollar, and the petrodollar as, like, what is that? Yeah. You know? They're not really, what value is that, man?
Yeah.
You know?
Value to it. And one more thing as well, because the scripture said we're moth. Can you read that back, show one more time? You know, because it's important, because it's very important, because not only is it talking about, not only is the scripture talking about not putting your faith in a dollar, it really goes further than that. It also tells you to not put faith even on the actual gold and silver. Because gold and silver is true commodity. But the Lord is telling you, don't put your faith in gold and silver. You read that?
Yeah, it says, but lay not up yourselves treasures upon earth,
right,
where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal.
Right, because if you have gold and silver, and you go and put that in some type of Swiss account, when the world's economy collapses, it won't be there.
Yeah.
It won't be there.
You won't be able to get.
You won't be able to get your money.
And see, that's the spirit, brother. That's the spirit. You say that because we got, just like I remember the apostle, they showed that one clip of the Rothschilds, and they had the inside scoop of the war with Napoleon. See, we got the inside scoop. See, people think, oh, the dollar's collapsed, but then they think, like how you said, well, I got my money in the Swiss account. But wait, we got the inside scoop. The whole world's currency is going to collapse. Even Alex Jones don't talk about that.
And so, like I said, if your money's in the account, it's going to be confiscated.
Exactly.
By force.
Right.
You're not going to have, this is not going to be a court. This is not going to be a place where you can get a lawyer and have you there in court for your money that got stolen.
Right. A fair trial.
A fair trial.
Let's
lets you know you have no power here.
That's right.
First of all, the very fact that you got to put your money in a Swiss account, how come it's not your account?
Right.
How come it's Swiss?
And you know the reason
Swiss's
why
account.
they say Swiss, it's because it's supposed to be a neutral land.
Yeah, right.
If, you know, if you put your money in a land, a nation that's not neutral, you already know your money ain't gonna be there if something pops off. But they always say Swiss accounts because it's a neutral land, so you don't expect anything to pop off over there. But still, Switzerland is not gonna be able to ride on that neutral no more. During World War III, they're gonna have to pick a side.
Because the main thing, because all these banks have a head.
That's right.
There's always somebody in control.
Yep.
So if it's not you, it's somebody else in control of it. And then it said, well, thieves break through and steal. Even if you had your own spot, you could still have thieves trying to get what you got when they know you got that money there.
Yeah. And the thief is a so-called white man, You know?
Okay. This is Matthew 25 and verse, parable of the virgins.
Get your stuff on the top.
I'll start at the top. Matthew 25 and 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels and their lamps.
Yeah, we got the oil, man. As of right now, the spirit of Yahweh Shah is dealing with us because we have the oil. See, these other people, they ain't got the oil, man. Outside of this truth, they ain't got the oil, so they foolish. Keep going.
While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. Right? And at midnight there was a cry made.
See, while the bridegroom tarried, see, all hell ain't break loose yet. Yahweh Shah ain't come back yet. So it's like, we don't need the oil. Go ahead.
Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Right. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell.
See, right now is the time to get the oil, man. People gonna want to get that oil later, man. It ain't gonna work out.
So go ye rather to them.
Quick precept, what you say, brother. It's talking about the 5 foolish. This is Luke 21, because instead of getting the oil, this is what they're doing. Luke 21 and 34. It says, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unaware. When you look up that word surfeiting, it's talking about the excess of drunkenness and partying and being involved. And then it says what? The cares of this life. Anything that has to do, anything that falls into the cares of this life. And guess what? Anything else outside of the truth falls into the cares of this life.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Finish up on verse 9. But the wise answer, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. Go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourself.
Yeah, go. Read that one more time, that last part.
But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourself.
Yeah, go to the ones that sell and buy for yourself. So you're supposed to get this knowledge for yourself. But in that time, you ain't going to be able to get it, man. It's too late, man. The scripture say now is high time to wake up out of sleep.
You can't, I'll just say this too, you can't get it after seeing shit crumbling and all the other cities around the globe. You see this place is falling apart. What makes you think that you're going to have some type of hope in this place? The people in power can't even keep the shit together, man.
Right. To make it long story short, the sellers are already selling.
Yeah.
We're selling already. So you don't want to buy this commodity, man.
And the people that you have faith on, since you have faith on the dollar, the almighty dollar, those people, guess what they're doing? They're getting out of the dollar and going to get underground bunkers.
Right.
Did they tell you that?
Right. But even that's another aspect, another point, of course, is these other false teachers out there, man.
That's right.
They're trumping up, not trumping up, but they're investing on the wrong stock.
That's right. Absolutely.
On Christ. Our people already invested in Christ.
That's right.
I'm going to just read through this real quick. Wrap up on this. Read straight through. Isaiah 30 and 1. It says, woe to rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with their covering, but not of my spirit, that may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, which clearly you can see that we're in, all right? Just pan the camera, zoom in on that monument again, all right? That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, to to trust in the shadow of Egypt. That's the shadow of Egypt.
That's right.
It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt be your confusion. We'll bring it back, God. You know, so with that, we want to give all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. All right, we'll say Mawaf La Babal, Mawaf La Matazarian. All right, double honors to our elders, apostles, a great millstone. We're about to go out here on the highways and byways. Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Shalom, Shamarkum, to all Labakarim, Yasha Allah. You know, Most High in the name of the Son, bless and keep all you Akim, the elect Akim of Israel out there on the highways and byways. Shalom.
Mawaf DC.
Yeah, Mawaf DC. Go out here on the line.